Welcome, my friends. Today I want to share with you a little secret that can transform not only this end of the year, but everything that is to come. The title of this video may seem intriguing to you. Put it on your desk on December 31st and you will attract money all year long. Do you wonder how something so simple can bring so much power to your lives? Let me tell you, in the Buddhist tradition, we believe that change does not always happen through great efforts, but rather through small gestures, sincere intentions, actions that are done with a pure heart. One of these acts is to start the new year with positive energy, a ritual that connects us with the abundance that the universe has to offer us. December 31st, like many cultures around the world, invites us to pause, reflect on the year that has passed, and open our minds and hearts to the blessings of the year to come. It is a special time, full of hope, and like any special moment, it can be the starting point for something great. Today I will reveal to you a small ritual that, with a lot of faith and the right energy, can bring prosperity into your life. So stay with me, because what I am going to share with you today can change the direction of your path, as has happened to so many who have followed this ancient wisdom. Now join me as we discover how a simple gesture made with the right intention can open the doors of abundance in your home and in your life. I will tell you the story of Teresa, a woman like many of you. Teresa is over 50 years old and, like so many others, has faced challenges in her life. Years ago, her life was different, full of dreams and hopes. But as time went by, reality took over and dreams took a back seat. Teresa lives in a modest house that has been her refuge for years. Every corner has a story, every object has a memory. But even though her home is filled with love, something seems stagnant, as if the energy of abundance never reaches her. Sometimes Teresa sits at her window and watches as time passes. Opportunities seem to slip away, and despite working hard, things don't turn out as she expected. Money is always tight, bills pile up, and sometimes you feel like luck is turning its back on you. And, dear thousand friends, this is a common story. Sometimes we feel like we are stuck in an endless cycle. Life becomes routine, and we ask ourselves, how can I change this? Why does prosperity seem so far away? Teresa, like many of us, is in this moment of searching. She knows she needs something more, something that connects her with a different energy, something that allows her to open up to new possibilities, prosperity and abundance. But she doesn't know where to start. Until one day, something will change in her life, something that will open the doors to the future she has always dreamed of. One afternoon, after a long day of work, Teresa was walking in the park near her house. Her mind, as always, was filled with thoughts of everyday worries, bills to pay, housework, and seemingly endless challenges. Sometimes, life made her feel like there was no way out, that everything she could do was already done. But that day, something changed. As she walked, she saw a familiar figure approaching her. It was the old monk from the nearby temple. Many knew him for his serenity and wisdom. It was often said that he had the answer to any question, as if his years of meditation and learning had given him the gift of seeing what others could not. "Teresa, how are you feeling?" the monk asked, his voice soft but full of warmth. "I am," Teresa began with a shy smile. "I am trying to find a way to improve my life, to change my fortunes. I feel like everything is stagnant." The monk nodded slowly, as if he understood the burden she carried. Then he told her something that would change her entire perspective. Prosperity, like everything in life, is not something that happens by chance. Abundance is cultivated with the intention and energy that you put into the world, into yourself, and into your home. I have lived for many years, Teresa, and I have learned that there are simple rituals that can open the doors to prosperity. Teresa, upon hearing this, felt a spark of hope. A ritual. How could something so simple change my life? The monk smiled tenderly and looked her in the eyes. There are rituals that connect us with the forces of the universe. The first one that I will share with you today is related to December 31st, the day when the old year leaves its mark and the new year opens before us, full of possibilities. There is a special object that you can place on your table that night, an object that will help you attract abundance and prosperity throughout the year. Teresa, curious and still skeptical, asked what this object is, teacher. It is very simple, the monk replied. On December 31st, before midnight, place a plate with a gold coin on your table, preferably an unusual one, something to remind you that prosperity is within your reach. Next to this coin, place a white candle, which symbolizes the purity of intention. And when you place the two elements on your table, do so with a heart full of gratitude for what you have, and with an open mind to receive what the universe sends you. The secret, Teresa, is that you do it with faith, with the intention of attracting all the good that is to come. Not just money, but abundance in all aspects of your health, love, peace. Abundance is not just material, it is an energy that flows in all aspects of your being. Teresa listened attentively, although she could not help but feel the doubt that was in her heart. How could something so simple change her destiny? Like a coin, could one candle bring the prosperity that I so desired? The monk, as if reading her thoughts, added that the magic is not in the objects themselves, Teresa, but in your faith and your intention. The universe responds to what you put out there, and when you do it with a pure heart, everything aligns in your favor. Many of these rituals are simply a reminder to open yourself to what is to come. When you place this object on your table, it is not just a physical act, it is a symbol of your openness to abundance. Remember that prosperity comes to those who are ready to receive it. With these words, the monk gave Teresa a deep, wise smile and began to slowly walk away. 2009. Teresa stood there, reflecting on everything she had just heard. Somehow, she felt as if something had shifted inside her. Maybe she did not understand everything the monk had told her, but there was something in his words that touched her deeply. Perhaps it was the faith in herself that she had lost long ago, or the hope that perhaps things could actually get better if she began to see life differently. When she returned home that evening, Teresa sat at her desk, staring at the empty space where she would soon place the coin and candle. She thought about everything she had done up until that point. She had worked hard, but she always felt that the effort was not reflected in her life. She realized that perhaps she had forgotten more about faith and intention. With this thought in her heart, she decided that she would follow the monk's advice. Not only for the ritual, but because she felt it was time to open herself up to new possibilities. December 31st was approaching, and Teresa knew that even if she didn't understand everything that was going to happen, she would do it with faith, in the hope that somehow this small gesture made with a pure heart could bring something new into her life. As the days passed and December 31st approached, Teresa couldn't stop thinking about the ritual that the monk had recommended. Although the idea of placing a gold coin and a white candle on her table had given her a spark of hope, something inside her couldn't shake the doubt. How could a simple ritual change my luck, she thought, as she prepared dinner one night. It all seemed so simple. What if it didn't work? What if it was just another superstition? After all, how could a one-coin candle attract prosperity? Doubts began to fill her mind. She thought about all the times she had tried to change her life without success. The efforts that didn't bear fruit, the promises that weren't fulfilled, the dreams that faded with time. What would make this moment any different? Maybe I should just carry on as I always have, I thought. Keep working, keep fighting without expecting miracles. After all, money and abundance don't fall from the sky. If I want things to change, I have to push forward with my own efforts, as I always have. And so, With each passing day, Teresa felt more tempted to let the ritual pass, to no longer give it importance, to continue with her life as it was, hoping that fate, as always, would take care of whatever came her way. But something inside her also told her that she could not let this opportunity pass so easily. The monk, with his simple but profound words, touched something in her heart. Teresa knew that if she did not at least try the ritual, she would not be able to say that she had done everything she could to change her situation. The temptation to continue with her life as it was, to not risk trying something new, was strong, and yet the idea of what might happen if she did gave her a little push. Maybe if I do this with an open heart, I thought, if I put all my faith in it, even if I do not understand how it will work, maybe 2001, just maybe, things can change. But what if I am disappointed? What if nothing happens? Doubt became her greatest enemy. Teresa began to imagine the ritual, visualizing the moment she would place the coin and the candle on the table, feeling her hands tremble with uncertainty. She felt trapped between two worlds, that of reason, which told her that all of this was nothing more than a game of illusions, and that of faith, which whispered in her ear that sometimes the simplest thing is the most powerful. December 31st arrived, and night was approaching. Teresa sat down next to her table, staring at the empty space where she should place the coin and the candle. The weight of the decision fell on her shoulders. On one hand, the fear of failure, of disappointment. On the other, the hope that this small act could open the doors to a new life. Suddenly, she remembered that the words of the universe respond to what you emit, Teresa. If you want abundance to come to you, you must open yourself to it. It's not just about the coin and the candle. It's about your faith, your intention. These words echoed in her mind. The doubt still lingered, but something inside her began to calm down. Maybe I didn't understand everything. Maybe I couldn't explain how it would work. But if she had learned anything in life, it was that sometimes it is only through faith and action that changes truly begin to happen. In the midst of uncertainty, when Teresa was about to abandon the ritual one afternoon, shortly before December 31st, something unexpected happened. As she walked through the garden of her home, 2001, thinking about everything that had happened, heard a soft voice behind her. It was the old monk, the same wise man who had crossed her path weeks before. "Are you okay, Teresa?" the monk asked with that serene calm that seemed to flow from his very being. Hearing his voice, Teresa felt relieved, but also a little embarrassed. "I am. I'm hesitating," she confessed, looking at the ground. "I don't know if this ritual will really have the same impact as something as simple as a coin. One candle can change my life." The monk looked at her with a deep and serene gaze. "Doubt is natural," Teresa said, as if she had heard the same concern 1,000 times. Sometimes the human heart is invaded by fear of the unknown, but what really matters is the intention with which you act. The act of faith, of opening yourself to what the universe has for you, is more powerful than you think. Teresa listened attentively, feeling how the monk's words began to calm her restless mind. "But how can I be sure that this ritual works? What if nothing changes?" "Life is not measured by what you see instantly," Teresa replied to the monk with a soft smile. "When you do something with a pure heart, without expecting immediate results, the universe responds to that energy. Remember that what you put on the table is not just a physical object. It is the symbol of your openness, of your willingness to receive the good that is to come. The true magic is in your faith." With these words, the monk approached her and continued in a voice full of wisdom. "I will give you instructions so that you can perform this ritual with complete clarity and understanding. First, on the night of December 31st before midnight, place a plate or small container in the center of the table. On this plate, place a gold coin or one that means something special to you. The value of the coin is not so important, but rather the symbol of abundance that it represents. Next to it, place a white candle. The candle symbolizes the purity of your intentions and the illuminated path to a new beginning. As you do this, think about everything you want for the coming year, not just money, but peace, health, and love. Allow yourself to imagine your life filled with these desires. Teresa felt her doubts begin to disappear as she listened to the monk. When you place the coin and the candle, do so calmly, the monk continued. Do not rush. Do not place thoughts of fear or despair. If you are afraid, observe and let them pass. Take a deep breath, and as you do so, fill your heart with gratitude for what you have and hope for what is to come. Imagine the glow of that candle lighting your path, while the coin attracts the abundance you deserve. "And what should I do next, teacher?" Teresa asked, feeling her heart begin to fill with renewed faith. After placing the coin and the candle, the monk replied, "Let the candle burn completely. If you wish, you can leave it on until midnight. During this time, keep your mind focused on what you want to achieve, but without forcing anything. The key is to trust the process, the power of faith, and sincere intention. Don't worry about immediate results, because prosperity comes when you least expect it, but always to those who are prepared to receive it." The monk smiled with that serenity that only someone with so many years of wisdom could convey. "Remember," Teresa said as she said goodbye, "true change begins in the heart. If you put love into what you do, the universe will respond to you with the same love. Don't underestimate the power of this ritual. It's a small act, but with a great intention. It's not magic, it's the universal law of abundance." After the monk's wise words, Teresa couldn't help but feel a spark of hope in her heart. She decided to take the step. December 31st would not only be the beginning of a new year, but a symbolic moment for her. It would open the doors to a new opportunity, to a new cycle where her life would change even if she didn't have all the answers. Determined to do the ritual correctly, Teresa began to prepare. She decided that she would not let doubt or fear stop her. 2001. "I will trust what the monk told me," she thought. "Even if I don't understand everything, I will do it with all my heart." In the previous days, she had immersed herself in her home. She had started cleaning with more energy than ever. She swept harder, aiming to clear not only the dust, but also the stagnant energies she felt around her. She felt that each broom swept away not only the dirt, but also the uncertainty that had been with her for so long. As the days went by, Teresa felt more prepared for the big night, but she also faced some temptations and doubts. One afternoon, while having tea with her friend Clara, a woman close to her, her friend's words made her hesitate. "Are you really going to do this? A ritual with a coin, one candle?" Clara, with her usual skeptical tone, did not understand the reason for Teresa's decision. "I know you. Teresa is not like you. Why risk waiting for something that doesn't make sense?" Clara's words, full of doubt, reached Teresa's mind, and for a moment her resolve wavered. Could this be nonsense? Am I making a fool of myself, she thought, but something inside her, a soft voice she couldn't ignore, reminded her that the wisdom of faith is not measured by what you see, but by what you believe. Teresa closed her eyes for a moment, letting her thoughts settle, and decided that despite the external doubts, what really mattered was her own faith, her own intention. "I'll do this for myself. For my faith, it doesn't matter." What others think, Teresa thought, and continued with her preparation. In the days that followed, Teresa began to practice small rituals to reaffirm her purpose. Each time she swept, she did so with the intention of making way for abundance. When I cleared the table where I would place the coin and the candle, I did so with the feeling that I was preparing a space to receive the blessings of the universe. However, more challenges also arose. One day, while walking through the market, she saw an advertisement for a special offer from a financial service that promised to make her rich in a short time. For a moment, the temptation to look for quick solutions overcame her, but she immediately remembered what the monk had told her. The path to abundance is not rushed, Teresa. Take the time to open yourself to the truth. Once again, doubt arose, but Teresa faced it with courage. She realized that she was learning to trust her own intuition and the process she had begun. Clara's advice and the temptations of the market quickly passed, and she continued with her ritual. December 31st finally arrived. Evening was approaching, and Teresa felt the weight of the importance of the ritual. It was a day like no other, and although her mind continued to ask questions, her heart was determined. She knew that this gesture, so simple but so full of intention, was the symbol of her openness to the new, to the best that was to come. She spent the entire day preparing her home. She cleaned, organized, and decorated. Each action was a reaffirmation of her commitment to change. She felt that each step brought her closer to the door of a new beginning. The monk's words resonated in her mind. Abundance comes to those who are prepared to receive it. The clean and tidy table seemed to be waiting for her. In her mind, she visualized the gold coin and the white candle. He felt that something special was about to happen, something he could not fully understand, but felt deep within him. Finally, the time had come. Teresa placed the gold coin on the plate carefully, as if she were placing a seed in the soil. He then lit the white candle, watching the flame begin to dance softly. The silence that surrounded her seemed to amplify the importance of the act he was performing. At that moment, something changed. Teresa felt a special energy in the air, as if everything she had done up until that point had converged into a torrent of possibilities. As she watched the candle burn, her thoughts calmed. 1. A deep peace took hold of his heart. It was as if he had placed all his hope, his dreams, and his faith in this small ritual. This is the moment, Teresa thought. This is my commitment to abundance, to a new beginning. As he watched the candlelight, he reflected on what this ritual represented. It wasn't just about the coin or the candle, but about her openness to change, her willingness to receive what the universe had prepared for her in this simple act. He felt as if he were letting go of everything that no longer served him, letting go of fear and doubt to make room for the new. The night wore on, and Teresa, with her heart full of gratitude, allowed herself to feel hope like never before. She didn't know what would happen the next day or what the future held, but what she knew for sure was that she had taken the first step towards a profound change, a change that began with her own faith and her willingness to open herself to the love and abundance of the universe. The ritual not only marked the beginning of the new year, but it marked the beginning of her new life, a life full of hope, faith, and the belief that change can truly begin with small gestures if done with a pure heart. 1. Clear intention. The first few days of January passed quickly, but something inside Teresa felt different. From the moment she completed the ritual, something changed in her, a feeling of lightness, as if she had freed herself from an invisible burden that had been on her shoulders for a long time. She didn't know exactly what had happened, but small signs began to appear. One day, while checking her email, she saw an unexpected notification. A company she had shown interest in for some time contacted her to offer her a job opportunity. Not only that, but the salary and conditions were much better than I had imagined. It was an opportunity she felt she had been waiting for all her life. With a smile on her face, Teresa remembered the moment she had placed the coin and the candle on the table. At that moment, something inside her had opened up. But this opportunity was not the only sign of change. In the following days, new ideas began to arrive, projects she had not even considered before, ideas that seemed to be waiting to be discovered as soon as she opened her heart to them. The flow of positive energy and prosperity was not limited to the economic aspect. She also noticed how her personal life improved. She felt more connected to the people around her. She reconciled old friendships, and peace reigned in her home. Teresa felt as if the universe was conspiring in her favor, and each small step she took confirmed that something wonderful was happening. As the days went by, Teresa began to understand the true power behind that simple ritual. It was no longer just a coin or a candle. The symbolic act was just the beginning. What she did by placing those objects on her table was open her heart, placing her faith in the process and in the abundance she knew she deserved. The gesture itself was simple, but it was backed by a clear intention for change, openness, and trust in what was to come. Teresa understood that the true magic lay in her faith, in her belief that what she wanted was possible. He learned that the universe responds to those who prepare to receive, that when one opens oneself to the new, the world around one does the same. This is the way, he thought. It is not just the ritual, it is the act of trust, of believing that I can attract what I need if I open myself to it with a sincere heart. As the year progressed, Teresa realized that her life had completely changed. Prosperity not only began to flow in economic terms, but touched every aspect of her life, her health, her relationships, her inner peace. What began as an act of faith on a special night turned into a profound and lasting transformation. His job opportunities improved, and with it his self-esteem and confidence. But most importantly, he realized that not only had his financial situation improved, but his connection to the energy of abundance 2009 had also strengthened, something he now understood not as something material, but as a vibration that affected everything he did and thought. He realized that prosperity was something much bigger than just money. It was the prosperity of inner peace, loving relationships, a harmonious home, and health that I now felt blossom. Teresa became a different woman, more confident, open, and fulfilled. She learned that a simple act, when done with faith and the right intention, has the power to change the course of a person's life. As the months passed, Teresa continued to feel that special energy that began with the ritual. Grateful, she returned home every night with a smile, knowing that her life was now a manifestation of everything she had learned. She, who had previously felt trapped in routine and scarcity, sos eos, now walked with the certainty that abundance was within her reach. All she had to do was stay connected to this positive energy and continue to trust her inner power. The new year did not just mark a temporal cycle, Teresa thought. It marked a new chapter in my life, a chapter of openness, faith, and above all, prosperity. And so Teresa lived the rest of the year, certain that every small gesture made from the heart has the power to transform life. Abundance not only arrived at her table, but began to fill every corner of her existence, and all because she opened her heart to the possibility that with faith and action, life always has something better to offer us. Dear friends, today we share a profound story, a story that reminds us that, although our lives often seem marked by difficulties and routine, there is always the possibility of change, a change that begins in the heart, in the mind, and manifests itself in our environment. The ritual of placing a simple object on the table, as we saw in Teresa's case, is nothing more than a symbol, But this symbol, supported by a clear intention and deep faith, has the power to open doors that we thought were closed, to allow us to receive what the universe has to offer us. The key is intention, in believing that what we want is possible, and in acting with the faith that we can receive the best. The power of symbolism is that it connects us to something greater than ourselves. It reminds us that as human beings, we are capable of changing our vibration, of attracting what we need, of opening ourselves to new possibilities. A gesture as simple as placing an object on our table, accompanied by a sincere intention, can become the bridge between the present and the future we want to build. Remember that prosperity is not just about money. Prosperity is inner peace, harmony in the home, healthy relationships, and an abundance of health and well-being. This ritual, like any act filled with faith, is not just about material wealth, but all forms of abundance that can fill your life. I invite you to follow this ritual with an open heart on this December 31st, with the intention of attracting prosperity not only to your pocket, but also to your soul, to your relationships, to your home. Believe in the power of intention, the power of faith, and the transformative power of symbolism, and may the new year be a time of renewal, opportunity, and prosperity for you and all those around you. Remember that change begins within you. You have the power to open the door to a new life. May abundance accompany you every step of the way, and may the universe provide you with everything you need. Thank you for joining me in this teaching. May the Buddhist energy illuminate your path and always guide you to prosperity.